What up, G-Life? It's your boy MC Shadow back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share if possible because it does help my channel. And it's free. All you gotta do is tap on that subscribe, tap the like, bro. It's free, really quick. You can just do it right now. You'll be helping me out a lot, you know, get thrown into the algorithm. Now, what I wanted to talk about today was actually something that I hear a lot being done by, everyday, citizens, civilians, about the streets. This happens time and time again. I hear this. It's like when people are talking about the news or something they've seen, on TV, right? When there's a crime involved, in their neighborhood, like around where they live, you'll hear like, there's a murder or a shooting, and then they'll be like stupid gang members, and it's like, well, how do you know that the shooting or the murder was gang related, bro? Like, you have no idea what that shooting was about. Like, for you to say stupid gang members, like what are you talking about? Like if they say it was gang related, people have to understand that there's shootings and murders done all the time, and they're non-gang related. You know what I mean? Not every shooting and not every murder is gang related. You know what I mean? Even though there's gangs around that area and it's the ghettos, a lot of other crimes happen. Like when people rob somebody, doesn't mean that they're gang members robbing them. You know what I mean? They could have no gang ties or whatever. They could just be a druggie or a fucking thief. You know what I mean? Not all criminals are gang related. As a matter of fact, a majority of criminals, go check the statistics right now. If you don't believe me, go check the damn statistics. A majority of criminals are not gang related. A majority of drug addicts are not gang related. You know what I mean? And a lot of homicides are not gang related either, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it does intertwine with the lifestyle, but more homicides out there happen that are non-gang related that are actually gang related. Go check the statistics. You get what I'm saying? There could be multiple reasons of why there's a homicide: a jealous boyfriend, an argument, between, him and his friends, accidental, many different, reasons. Not all people that sell drugs are from gangs. You know what I mean? They could just be drug dealers, have no gang ties, because there's a lot of drug dealers that are not gang related. Why? Because they don't want to share their profits. You get what I mean? They want all the money to themselves. And if people don't pay up, they could pay other people to go and rough them up to get their money. You know what I mean? He'll have his own crew, but they're no gang. You know what I mean? He'll just have his henchmen, that he pays. You know what I mean? And that's how they pretty much go about things. So, don't think that, all drug dealers are gang members or whatever. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to share the profits. A lot of drug dealers are not gang related. They'll have no gang ties. Believe it or not, that does exist a lot, actually. And like I said, there could be shootings done for multiple reasons. So just because the area is ghetto and there's gangs around that area doesn't necessarily mean that the shooting or the murder is actually gang related. That's people actually rushing to conclusions. That's what I'm saying. That's why a lot of people get away, or a lot of get false incriminated or falsely arrested and stuff like that. Because people rush to conclusions. Get what I'm saying? They waste a lot of time, going based on this. Like how they show real, like when they train real, detectives and stuff like that. They don't train them to racially profile or to profile at all based off of looks. They're taught that everybody's a suspect and what behaviors to look after. You know what I mean? But it has nothing to do with looks. It has to do with demeanors. But see, society who doesn't know about human behavior or the psychology of things, they go base everything off of looks, right? If the guy looks like a gang member, then he's number one suspect. That's not how these fools are trained. These fools are trained to look after demeanors, suspicious activity, suspicious behavior. You know what I mean? Like while other people be like, hey, there's this gang member, man, he has a bad rap sheet. I think he should be the number one suspect, whatever. But instead they're interviewing this white lady, and it's like, why are you wasting your time with her? Like, well, because she's over here asking like, how long have we been searching for? Where have we been searching? Who's been in charge of the searching? Asking all kinds of suspicious questions. You know what I mean? But without showing no emotion to it, more like concern, maybe biting the nails. You know what I mean? Fidgeting the fingers, stuff like that. While people are like, no, look at that guy right there, you need to investigate him. These guys are properly trained to look after, other details, not waste their time on stupidity that society is brainwashed by the, mainstream media. It's why a lot of criminals get away. While these guys are going around looking for the low rider and these bald-headed felon, the real killer got away because he was driving an electrical vehicle with a suit and tie and a pink shirt. You know what I mean? But he went dressed like that for he wouldn't cause any attention, and in case the cops get next to him, they don't suspect him as a suspect. These guys are criminals, bro. They're smart and intelligent. They know what the cops are gonna. They know that if they go driving, bumping it, and rolling down, that they gonna get pulled over, dog. So they're aware of that already ahead of time. You know what I mean? They'll have the hair come to the side, maybe some fake glasses. You know what I'm saying? But they look, they'll fit the image, dog. So I'm saying you need to stop watching them movies, dog, thinking that fools actually do missions like in the movie Colors and shit. I mean, when you gangbanging, I mean that does occur, but I'm saying that's how you get caught. I'm talking about when a hit is planned and shit like that. That's what separates like a real detective from like, these regular day cops. That's why, when they can't solve them, they bring the real guys in. You know what I mean? They bring the real experts. Because these guys don't have any training in that. You know what I mean? Which they should, because they deal with a lot of these scenarios on a day-to-day, and they get put through a lot of pressure, and a lot of their beliefs gets put to the ultimate test. You know what I mean? Their religion, their race, their sexuality, their all of that. You know what I mean? Their overview in life gets put to the ultimate test. They got to deal with a lot of stupid people and weirdos, and a lot of crazy shit. They see a lot of crazy shit too. The human mind could only handle so much. You know what I mean? You could only put so much stress and shit on your own mental. So with no psychological release, I mean, it's gonna take a toll. It's gonna take a toll on that individual. You know what I mean? Because they see a lot of shit that could leave them, traumatized, and they just don't even know it yet. You know what I'm saying? And it could cause nightmares, and then now the lack of sleep, and you know what I mean. It starts to take a toll on somebody because they see a lot of gruesome shit. They walk into a crime scene, dead kids, maybe chopped up, like a lot of shit that like no human being should even be able to see. You know what I mean? Like some shit that just like off the chain type shit. You know what I mean? And that after a while does take a toll on every individual. To see what humanity really is capable of. The sick and twisted, shit they have to experience. Law enforcement goes through a lot too. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they're supposed to be trained professionals, right? They're supposed to be able to keep their composure. Because that's their profession. You know what I'm saying? So they're supposed to be able to carry themselves right. How people be like, oh well, what do they expect? Look how these guys are harassing. Yes, but these guys, that's their profession, that's their job. So they're supposed to be able to keep their composure no matter what kind of position they're put in. You know what I'm saying? But if they're not psychologically prepared, you know what I mean, or given that training, how do people expect these people to actually keep their cool? They have to they have to start taking more courses, to help better understand and train these individuals for these kind of scenarios. I get it. I get it. Some of their profession is, physical, whatever, but a majority of it is mental. And if they're not mentally prepared, how do you expect them to carry out their job right? That's why a lot of these law enforcement officers don't know how to behave, bro. They don't. They're very unprofessional. They're not properly trained for the job. But that's not because of them. That's because of their superiors. They, you know what I mean? Their training regimen is crap. You know what I mean? I think they need to hit the drawing board. Instead of going and saying take out law enforcement and everything, like nah. What we're trying to tell you guys is to properly train your police officers. You know what I'm saying? Like make it, for them to take courses and understand these scenarios, because when they roll up to a scene, you know what I mean, and it's chaotic as it is already, right? So if they're not properly trained for it, to be able to keep their emotions in check and shit like that, they're already showing up to a scene that's already chaotic, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they got to be mentally prepared. That way they know how to better handle the scenario, instead of just going straight for their firearm and shooting. They know how to better get an idea of what's happening, the person's behavior, if he's really about that action or if he's just bluffing. You know what I mean? Because you're properly trained now to see, okay, no, he's just wolfing a good one. Because believe it or not, when you're talking to somebody, the way they say things, how they say it, what words they use, all of that plays a factor. You know what I mean? And telling you if this individual really is about to do something, or if he's just wolfing a good one. You get what I mean? That's why you get these interrogators, that interrogate. They're properly trained. I'm not saying that I'm a whiz at this and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I do have an understanding. I have an understanding of the scenario, but I'm not properly trained in the scenario, so I wouldn't say I'll be able to know what questions to ask and how to get this person to comply. You get what I mean? I know that there's tactics that they use and stuff like that, but I properly don't know the tactics, obviously. But I'm saying that they have training of it, so I do have an understanding for it. Just not the whole dynamics to it. So they need to properly train these individuals. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? And then maybe you'll have less problems. But yeah, because them as well as civilians always go based off of oh yeah, it has to be gang. You know what I'm saying? Like bro, this has nothing to do with gangs. What the fuck are you talking about? Now, I'm not saying that that they don't commit murder and stuff. I'm saying that it does happen, but I'm saying you can't rush to conclusions either. You know what I mean? If you really don't know, you just can't automatically assume that this is what it is. And that's a mistake that a lot of individuals make. They think just because someone dresses like this that they have to be a cholo. No, they could dress like Chicano, whatever, but he could have no gang ties. I seen homies wear Dickies, Cortezes, bald, and white tee, and they have no gang ties. They just like the stilo. You know what I mean? You just can't go based off of just because a person looks like this, that makes me say, And then the fool's wearing skinny jeans and looks like a regular dude, no one's paying attention to him, but he's the one that has the 357 around his waist because he's actually the gang member. You know what I mean? A lot of people get that shit mixed up, going based off of appearance. Appearance has nothing to do with being a gang member, bro. The way you dress has nothing to do with being a gang member, bro. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't make a gang member. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It's just clothes, homie. That's all it is, dog. The gang member's in here and in here and in your balls. You know what I'm saying? It's not in your fucking clothing, or your tattoos. You know what I'm saying? Because you see fools all tatted, dog, and hey, where you from? Nah, I'm not from nowhere. I just like tattoos. See what I mean? Like you just can't be assuming and shit. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. You know what I mean? It's like, when they say like, well, if you dress different, maybe your kids won't want to become gang. That's ridiculous, because there's people that dress, like this. They have no gang ties, so whether kids will want to become a gang member because their dad dresses like one, but he's not even one himself. That's ridiculous, bro. That's what I'm saying. When you're from the streets, you know what it is. You know what I mean? If not, you're just going based off of assumptions, and assumptions is not facts. I'm just saying, from Shadow, we out.